Alright, let's try that again. My name's Mark from the Purple Penny. This is our weekly coin news video. We're a coin and banknote shop in the northern suburbs of Adelaide. I run the Purple Penny with my wife Catherine, who's in the other room, telling me when the live stream isn't working. It's 3 weeks in a row this has happened. It's all getting a bit flaky. Now, last week was quite a good week here in the shop. We had quite a lot of customers in, a lot of customers out. On Saturday, a woman and her son came in, and her father was a dealer in Sydney in the 1970s and 80s, and she's in the final throes of disposing of his leftover stock. So it was a pleasure looking through that stuff with her and explaining what it is that I'm looking at. And I guess that's something that I do enjoy doing, is explaining to people what it is that they've got when they bring it in to sell us. So I will share some of those finds with you next week, probably, once that transaction has been finalised. Right, let's jump into the news here. We will be closed next Saturday, so please don't come into the shop on Saturday. We're just having a day off. Drop in either on Friday or come in the week after. We'll be closed on Saturday. I do apologise to those of you who are having troubles with the stream. There's nothing I can do about it. I'll just keep going and we will persevere. There was a mint release on Thursday of last week. There was the yearly loot bag, which is a bag of circulating coins and usually some novelties. Those are not made available to RAM dealers like ourselves. What is interesting is that the set this year is what coins are in there. There could be, at the moment, the only way of getting a circulating set with the Queen's Memorial obverse on them, other than the mint mark dollar coin, which is of course available in the mint mark set. Now, the other release on that day was the colorized 1 ounce Emperor Penguin coin, mintage of just 3,000. Now that, as far as we understand, is a private minting, that someone has contracted the mint to create that coin. Now what that means is that firstly, the mint has a very small number of the coins made available to sell, because I believe that the corporate customer gets most of them. The end result of that is they're very hard to get. You either need to deal with the mint or deal with the corporate customer to get your hands on those. It also means that we didn't get any. So while I can accept the fact that the mint is doing their level best to make the queue fair, and there has been announcements about that today, about the mint disabling people with duplicate RAM accounts and cancelling orders made from duplicate RAM accounts. They are doing us no favours by sending people to us once they've sold out, because of course we didn't get any. So no thanks to the mint there for doing that to us. It does us no favours. It really just results in us answering a whole pile of phone calls to people who are looking for products that we never have the opportunity to buy. Now, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the Vietnam coins again a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to talk about them twice today. We've got... There really is nothing I can do about it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep recording and I'll post it up later. We've got the Vietnamese government has, through official channels from what I understand, issued a complaint about the Vietnam $2 coin that was released at the beginning of April, saying that the flag on the coin is an old Vietnamese flag, and they'd prefer it that the Australian government didn't issue coins with that flag on it. Now, it's not actually, I can accept the fact that the flag was of the colours shown on the coin, but the flag was actually just used as inspiration for Australian service medals that were released for those who served in the Vietnam War, and there's a picture of the coin there along with the colorization around it. And working from sort of the top center of the coin clockwise, you've actually got 3 ribbons depicted on the coin there. I believe that the Vietnamese government's problem is with the yellow and red, which was the colours of the flag at the time of the Vietnamese War. I do understand, but of course those ribbons are Australian Service Medal ribbons, and it is kind of preposterous that we would change that just to suit some other government's whims, because that would very much I guess denigrate the service that men and women put into in Vietnam. I do understand that that war is looked on very unfavourably, but it doesn't change the fact that men and women were issued those medals coming up to 50 years ago now, and the idea that we would change that just to suit some other government's ideas is stupid. So working from the top right and clockwise around, the ribbons there are the Vietnam Logistic and Support Medal, and that's the one in the top right quadrant of the coin there. The coin at the bottom quadrant of the coin is the ribbon at the bottom quadrant of the coin is the anniversary of national service 1951 to 1972 medal, and I do apologise, I don't understand why it's not working today. I guess there's probably something wrong with our internet connection or something wrong with Facebook, but it is out of my control. I have restarted everything, so I do apologise for that. Please watch later on Facebook or on YouTube. The ribbon at the top left is the Vietnam medal. So they aren't flags on that coin. They are metal ribbons, and interestingly, those same colours were used on a 50-cent piece in 2016. So, if I would just ignore those requests of the Vietnamese government, because it's not a flag, it's depictions of metal ribbons. Now, thank you to Justin for sending through this next item. It's a coin in it's a car in a museum which is called Historic Auto Attractions in Illinois, and it's a Cadillac. It's called the Bicentennial Cadillac, and it's covered in over 120,000 coins. It weighs almost 3 tons. The bonnet, for example, weighs 150 kilos. Most of the body is covered in 1976 dated coins, which is the bicentenary of the USA. So just down the flanks of the car, you've got 1976 1-cent pieces. There's highlight strips along the panels in quarters. The entire roof is covered in 1976 half dollars, and the bonnet is covered in world coins of various dates. So this was created in the late 70s by someone with very interesting habits to create such a thing, and you can view this in the Illinois Historic Auto Attractions Museum. Now, it does seem a bit odd, but several years ago, Catherine and I sold many thousands of 1-cent pieces to a lady in Sydney, I believe she was, and she was going to tile her toilet with 1-cent pieces. So the room was going to be tiled with 1-cent pieces, and which it sounded like a very long and hard road to hoe. Right. This is the third time I've talked about this story. This is gentlemen in the UK that were caught trying to sell treasure illegally. Of course, in the UK, if you metal detect coins or treasure, then that needs to be given to the government, who will then determine if it is actually treasure. And if it is determined to be treasure, it will be sold, and the proceeds are split up between the person who found it and the landowner. These gentlemen tried to sell some coins to a collector in the USA, and they were caught out by the English government and arrested. Now they have now been jailed. They both received 5 years and 2 months in jail. Interestingly, the police found images on their phones of some other coins that have not been located, including a couple that are worth over £100,000 each. Now, it is believed that the coins that they attempted to sell are from a larger hoard of 300 plus coins, and interestingly, the two metal detectorists and some of their associates who found that larger hoard had already been caught out and are in jail for 10 years and 8 years respectively, and those sentences started back in 2019. So the English government really does take this stuff seriously, and I guess kudos to the collector in the USA who notified the English government about these coins that were being attempted to be sold on the black market. Now, I don't know about you, but certainly in our house, the Coronation was on TV on Saturday night. I can't say I watched too much of it, and Catherine was sitting in front of the TV for a while, and she watched a lot more of it than I did. But we did find out this morning that some coins were actually used in the ceremony, and if you did watch the ceremony, you would have noticed the woman in the blue dress there with the headdress on that you can see in the middle. Her name was Penny Mordaunt. I've got a typo in my slide there. Now, what happens is that the jewelled sword of offering, which you can see on the right there, is given to the king in part of the ceremony. And going back several hundred years, a peer of the realm would buy that coin back from the king, would actually buy that sword back. And initially that was for 100 silver shillings. Decimalised, it is £50, which is 150p coins. So Penny Mordaunt, after this sword had been given to the king, handed across £50 in 50p coins to the bishop. The bishop took the sword back and then gave the sword out of the scabbard to Penny, and then she walked around for the rest of the ceremony with that sword actually offered up. You can see her there in the middle. Now, the coins that were given were that 50p coin there that you can see on the left, which is the Coronation 50p, showing the crowned portrait of King Charles and his cipher, and some of the abbey there on the reverse of the coin. Now, I hope that that design is used on Australian coins, because I think it'd be lovely to see it. It is reminiscent of his grandfather's portrait, and interestingly, the coins that were offered to the king in return for the sword were in the same bag that the king's grandfather used in his ceremony. The sword itself was made for King George IV's coronation in 1821, and you can see on the scabbard that it is covered in all sorts of blingy things. So we're still, I do understand that we are still having problems with the stream, but as I've said, there's not a lot I can do about it. It is either the internet here or something wrong with Facebook. I will post this up on YouTube later, and on Facebook, of course, where you can watch it later. Right, now, topic of the week, and thank you to Catherine and Peter for helping me out with this, is third-party grading, the road to instant riches. Now, this came about through Peter and Catherine talking to me about the silver Vietnam coins being graded, and then also Peter talking about the value of damaged coins. I'll just remind you of what third-party grading is. That is sending coins off to the USA to a reputable company like PCGS or NGC, and they apply an impartial third-party grade to that coin and then send it back to you encapsulated with a grade on it, or in some cases without a grade on it if the coin is damaged or cleaned inappropriately or is not an authentic coin. Now, why would you want to do it? Well, for a lot of people, they want to do it because they think they're going to make money out of it. We had a couple of people in the shop last week who brought in random coins wanting to get them graded, and if you have been online, you would have noticed graded silver Vietnam coins appearing this week. So what are some real reasons to get a coin graded? Well, you could do it to preserve or protect it, to provide assurance that the coin itself is real, to provide assurance of the grade of the coin. So for example, you might have a key date 1930 penny, and you want to recognise what that grade is and that it's authentic, so you would get it graded. If you are playing the registry set game, to recognise top quality coins. For some coins, it is very difficult to get high numbers on those coins, so getting a coin graded with a high number on it can be of value. And the final reason is to help identify errors or varieties. Now, there's some reasons to actually do it, but there are a lot of reasons not to do it. And, you know, let's have a look at these silver $2 coins. So up the top there, you can see population reports of a couple of coins there. We've got the 2023C Vietnam War colorized silver coin. As of this morning, there had been 13 of those graded. Just below that, I've put the 2023 Vegemite Centenary Proof coin. You can see there's been 122 of those graded. Now, firstly, how did people get those Vietnam War coins graded so quickly? Because, you'll typically hear me talking about delays in grading of 4 to 6 months. It has, of course, only been about 5 weeks since the Vietnam coin was released. Well, how they did it is PCGS offers faster grading services called Walkthrough or Express. Walkthrough costs US $150 per coin. Express costs US $70 per coin. So you're talking about $225 Australian for a walkthrough grade. You're talking about $100 Australian for an express grade. Now, why would you do that? You would do that because you want to be first to market with a highly graded coin. That's why you'd want to do it. No other reason for a Vietnam coin. There is really no other reason at all. You might do it legitimately because you have an ultra high value coin. So for example, PCGS requires walkthrough grading for coins that have a value over 100,000 US dollars. They require it. You might send coins through on Express because you need them back quicker, or you're not comfortable with them being away for so long, or perhaps you're a business and you have bought a collection and you want to turn it over more quickly. So there are legitimate reasons for it. There's no reason to do it for the Vietnam coins other than trying to be the first to market. So the reason why I put up the two populations here is to give you an idea of what you would expect for a modern issue in terms of grade. Remembering back to those reasons why you'd get things graded, one of them was to recognise top graded coins. Generally, quality of products from the mint, especially proof products, is excellent. And as such, getting a PR70 is no big deal. PR70 is the highest possible grade. It is no big deal. So if you look at those two population reports there, 9 of the 13 silver Vietnam coins have graded PR70. That's 70%. Okay, 109 of the 122 $1 Vegemite proofs have graded PR70. 109, that's over 90% of them have graded PR70. So what does that mean? It means that you, as a collector, if you're going to pay a premium for a PR70, it should be a minor premium, an extremely minor premium, because most of the coins that get sent over are going to grade PR70. Whoever has sent it over hasn't spent any time picking out top quality coins or comparing 20 coins and picking out the 3 best or anything like that. They've just sent over everything they've got. Okay, they have done no work other than paying for the postage and paying for the grading service. That's all they've done. They've put no time or effort into it other than that. They have just raced to get it over there and try to get it to market as quickly as possible, sell it for a premium price before the rest of the top graded coins appear. Long term, those top grades will not be worth almost any premium to a regular coin. They shouldn't be, because all the coins pretty much would grade PR70. Now, if you get one that grades PR69 and PR68, I would argue that you should sell your coin at a penalty because you have sent over an inferior quality coin, because the majority of them should be PR70s. Now, have any of these PCGS graded Vietnam coins sold? A couple. A couple have sold on eBay. One of them was a incompleted sale. The other one may have been a completed sale at about $2,500. I haven't seen any complete on Facebook. I've seen sellers attempting to get ridiculous prices for them or swap them for ridiculous quantities of other product, but I haven't seen a completed sale yet. So if you are considering buying one of these PCGS graded Vietnam coins because you don't have one, please don't. Just buy one in a box. The prices of the ones in boxes has settled to about $1,050 to $1,200, so they've come off a few $100s. They may well drop a little bit further, but please don't line someone's pocket buying a PCGS graded one thinking you're getting a better quality coin than one that's just in a box, because you're not. Right, last slide. Should you pay a premium for coins that have any of these sorts of features? Should you pay a premium for average or low grade common coins? So, for example, I saw a seller this morning selling MS64 2015 lest we forget $2 coins for $40 each. As far as I'm concerned, a MS64 2015 lest we forget $2 coin in MS64 is worth $10 to $15, which is the same price as you could sell a raw one for. You should not be paying a premium for an MS64 lest we forget $2 coin. If you do pay a premium for it, all you are doing is preventing someone who sent over coins to get graded that shouldn't have sent them because they didn't look at them properly. You do not want to be sending over common coins that grade as an MS64. And if you, as I said, if you are buying them at those inflated prices of $40 or $45 each, you are just giving the seller their grading fees back for no reason. Okay, you're better off just buying a raw coin. If someone sends over an end roll coin that is scratched, without looking at it, without knowing what it is that they are doing, and it comes back details graded with a scratch on it, what is it worth? It's worth $2. It doesn't matter if the seller paid $40 with postage and grading fees, it is worth $2. Do not line that seller's pockets by paying for their mistakes. Do not line the seller's pockets by paying for their mistakes. Damaged common coins are worth face value. Should you pay a premium for cleaned common coins? Now, the classic example here is the 2012 uncoloured poppy coin. For whatever reason, there's a lot of them around that have been cleaned. People unwittingly get them graded, and they get no graded with cleaned on them, and I do see people trying to sell them for $30 or $40 each. They are worth $2. Do not line the seller's pockets by paying for their mistakes. The last one here is a bit of a bugbear of mine. When people post up decimal coins with minor errors on them, planchet flaws or clip planchets or things like that, and everyone's saying, get it graded, get it graded. Why? It costs over $100 to get a error coin graded. Add in postage and handling fees and things like that, and you're talking almost 200 Australian dollars to get a coin graded that might be worth $30. Again, don't pay for things to pay for sellers' mistakes. It's up to these people that are trying to make a profit to understand what it is that they are doing, what it costs them, okay, and what the end result of the product is. Right, that's it for today. I do apologise to everyone who's been trying to watch live. I don't understand what's going on. I will post this video up on YouTube as usual, and it will be available on Facebook later as usual. Thank you everyone who did hang around and watch, and perhaps next week we'll have a better experience. So have a good week everyone, happy collecting, stay safe, and bye for now.